So are you also still writing product review survey questions manually? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to create product review survey questions using AI agent. So over here I'm running a skincare brand and we regularly used to write questions manually for all the product review surveys. But this is such a time consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I've simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the details of my product into my Google Sheets, automatically my AI agent, which is OpenAI, is going to generate me the questions, and further I can add that questions into a Google document and then into my Google Sheets. And to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, Google Docs, and then Google Sheets. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen. So in this video, I'll guide you how to create engaging product review survey questions using an AI agent. So with just few prompts, the AI will generate you insightful questions that will help you gather the valuable feedback of your customers. This automation ensures that you are asking the right question for improving your products and services and enhancing the customer satisfaction. So let's get started with a really simple example. Let's say that I'm just going to enter the product name, the product type, and the target concern right over here. And as soon as I'm just going to enter all of these details automatically, my AI agent is going to generate these survey questions and add the survey questions document link right over here in my spreadsheet. Alright, so I'm just going to wait for a few seconds, and yes, you can see the document link has been added. So over here you can see that my AI agent has generated me these survey questions based on the details which I added right over here in my Google Sheets. And over here you can see that it has generated me 15 questions. You can see in real time, within seconds, the questions were generated. And yes, this is the amazing automation which we are going to create in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to stick to this video till the end. So to do this, we simply have to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And in order to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect, I'm just going to open a new tab and search for pabbly.com/connect. So I'm just going to search for pabbly.com/connect in a new tab, and now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And now after opening this landing page of Pabbly Connect, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you are going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this sign in, and as soon as we are going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect's account. And as soon as we're going to click on this access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations. And over here on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created, in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder or a subfolder, you can click on this hyperlink given right over here and learn how to create one. I have already created one in which I'm just going to save my today's workflow, which is automation. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as how to create product review survey questions using an AI agent. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And as soon as we are going to click on this create, it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens, and action means do this. So by this, you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger. And that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, we are simply going to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Sheets. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets and select it. And now for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we are going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL, and then we have to follow this help text, and it is saying log in into your single Google Sheets account, create a new spreadsheet and navigate to the extensions and move on to the add-ons option and then click on get add-ons. Alright, so we're going to do the same. I'm just going to open my Google Sheets, and now after opening this Google Sheets, what we're going to do is I'm simply going to go towards this extensions and then add-ons, and then we have to go towards this get add-ons, and we have to add an extension in this spreadsheet. Alright, so to add that extension, I'm simply going to search for the same, which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So I'm just going to search for it and select it right over here. And as you can see that I have already installed this extension, that is why it is giving me the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this extension, you are going to get the option of install right over here. And you can simply install the extension right from here. And now after installing this extension, what you have to do is you simply have to refresh your spreadsheet. It is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet, otherwise you'll not be able to get the Pabbly Connect Webhooks option right over here. Alright, so now after refreshing this spreadsheet, we have to go towards this extension, and as you can see, Pabbly Connect Webhooks will appear right over here. And now from here we have to go towards this initial setup, and after coming over here towards this initial setup, it is asking me to select the sheet, enter the webhook URL and the trigger column. So over here for the sheet, I have selected it as sheet 1. So you must be wondering, how are you going to select the sheet? So you simply have to open the sheet for which you want to create this automation and then only go towards this extensions. So the sheet is going to be selected automatically. And now for the webhook URL, we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm just going to enter my trigger column as C. So the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards the webhook URL. So over here what I want is that if the product name, product type and the concern is added into my spreadsheet, automatically these three details should be sent towards my webhook URL. That is the reason I have selected my trigger column as C. You have to select your trigger column according to your spreadsheet. Alright, and after selecting my trigger column, I'm simply going to click on this submit, and now it is saying setup configured successfully. And now after doing this, what we have done is we have simply created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we have to do is I'm simply going to open my spreadsheet, and now from here we have to go towards this extension Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and we simply have to switch on this button which is send on event. It is really important step to switch on this button which is send on event, because upon switching on this button, what is going to happen is that whenever a new event is going to occur in the spreadsheet, automatically the details would be sent towards the webhook URL. So as you can see that we have simply switched on this button, and now we are ready to do the test submission. Alright, so to do this test submission, I'm simply going to enter the product name first right over here. Then we're going to enter the product type, and in the last, I'm just going to enter the target concern. And now after entering all of these details, with this, we have successfully did the test submission. And now after doing the test submission, these details have been sent towards my webhook URL. So I'm just going to open my workflow, and yes, over here you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for the same. You can see the product type, you can see the product name, and also you can see the target concern, which is captured right over here, and these are the same details which we entered during our test submission. And yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now what is going to happen is that whenever I'm just going to add new details right over here in my spreadsheet, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered. And now with this we have successfully completed our trigger step, and now we're going to move on further towards our action step. Now what I want is I want to create product review survey questions using an AI agent. So for my action application, I'm just going to select it as my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm simply going to search for OpenAI and then we are going to select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying OpenAI uses API key for authentication. Kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. Alright, we are simply going to go towards this OpenAI API key page with the help of the URL given right over here. Now after opening this OpenAI API key page, I'm simply going to create a new secret key, and I'm just going to enter my key name as AI agent right over here. So I'm just going to enter AI agent right over here, and I'm just going to select the project and then click on this create secret key. And now over here is my secret key, so I'm simply going to copy this key and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And after adding this API key, we simply have to click on this button which says save, and with this we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the AI model, so I'm simply going to select my AI model as GPT-4. You can select any another of your choice. And now it is asking me to enter the prompt, so I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. And now as you can see that I've simply entered my prompt, which is generate 12 to 15 customer friendly survey questions for the following skincare product. Use simple and conversational tone and the rest of the prompt. And over here I'm simply going to enter the product details, but I'm not going to enter the details manually, but I'm simply going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of a trigger application only, and as soon as we are going to map these details, automatically our details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So first over here I'm simply going to map the product name. So I'm just going to look for product name and map it, which is clear skin cleanser. Then I'm just going to map the product type, which is face wash. Now we're going to move on further. I'm just going to map the target concern right over here. Now after mapping all of this, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save and send test request. And as soon as we're going to click on this save and send test request, my AI agent is going to generate me 12 to 15 survey questions for this product. So over here you can see that yes, my AI agent has generated me the questions for my product. Over here you can see the questions generated, and now I'm just going to add all of these generated questions into a Google document. For that I'm just going to add another action step right over here, and now for the action application I'm simply going to select it as Google Docs. And now for the action event I'm simply going to select it as create a blank document and click on this button which says connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Docs account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And as soon as we're going to click on this blue button right over here, I'm just going to select my Gmail account with the help of which I want to connect my Google Docs account. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here. And after selecting my Gmail account, Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And yes, with this we have successfully connected our Google Docs account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So I want the document name to be the product name first. So I'm simply going to map the product name, and in front of this product name I'm just going to add survey questions so that it gets a clear document name. All right, so I'm just going to add survey questions right over here, and as you can see that I've successfully entered the document name, and this survey question right over here is a static information. It will remain same in every response, but this product name will change. All right, so now after entering this document name, I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request, and as you can see that we have received a positive response that we have successfully created a blank document. And now what we're going to do is in this blank blank document which we created right now, I'm just going to add these survey questions which my AI agent generated. So I'm just going to add another action step right over here. And now for the action application, once again, I'm just going to select it as Google Docs. And after selecting this action application for the action event, I'm just going to select it as append a paragraph to a document. And now what is going to happen is I'm just going to add the paragraph, which is the AI generated questions, into this blank document. For that, I'm just going to click on this connect. And now I've recently connected my Google Docs account. So I'm simply going to click on this select existing connection and then save. And yes, with this, you can see we have successfully connected our Google Docs account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the document right over here. So we are not going to select the document like this manually, but we are going to map it. For that, we are simply going to switch on this mapping button and erase this document ID. And we're going to map this document ID from the response of our previous step. And as you can see the same, so we are simply going to map it right over here. And now it is asking me to insert the text after mapping this document ID. So I'm simply going to map the details which we received in the message content in our OpenAI response, which is our questions. So I'm simply going to map it right over here. And now after mapping both of these details, we are simply going to click on this button which says save and send test request. And yes, you can see that we have received a positive response that we have successfully added these questions into our document. And now I'm just going to add this same Google Docs link into our Google spreadsheet right over here. So over here, to add this link, we first have to make this document a shareable one. And to make this document a shareable one, I'm just going to add another action step. And now for the action application, I'm just going to select it as Google Drive. So over here, I'm just going to search for it and select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as share a file with anyone and click on this connect. Once again, it is asking me for the same. So if you haven't connected your Google Drive account, you can go towards this, add a new connection, sign in with Google, select your Gmail account, give Pabbly all the permissions. And yes, your Google Drive account would be connected. I have already connected my Google Drive account. So I'm simply going to go towards this select existing connection and then save. And yes, you can see that with this, we have successfully connected our Google Drive account. And now it is asking me for the file ID, which is the file I want to share with anyone or make a shareable one. So once again, I am not going to select the file from this manually, but instead we are going to map it. So I'm just going to switch on this mapping button and map the document ID. Once again, we have turned this field into a dynamic one, and now this will change with every new response received. And now I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request. And yes, you can see that we have received the positive response and we have received this web view link. So this is the link which we are going to add in our Google Sheets. All right. So for that, I'm just going to add another action step. And now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Sheets. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as update cell value. So I'm just going to search for it and then we are simply going to select it and click on this connect. And now I've recently connected my Google Sheets account. So I'm simply going to go towards this select existing connection and then save. And yes, with this, we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account. And now it is asking me for the spreadsheet I want to update. So as you can see, the name of my spreadsheet is product review survey questions. So I'm just going to select the same spreadsheet right over here. And now for the sheet, I have to select it as sheet 1. And now we're going to move on further. It is asking me for the range. So it is saying enter the range of the sheet that needs to be updated here. So as you can see in the example, it is giving me that we have to enter the column name and then the row index. So here you can see the column which needs to be updated is D and the row index is 4. So I want to update this range which is D4. But over here, I can't enter D4 like this manually, because what is going to happen is that right now I want to update D4. But now if the next response is added, then it would be D5, D6 and so on. But you must notice that the column is remaining constant. D is the same, only the row is changing. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to map D, I'm simply going to enter D manually and keep it as static. But we are going to map the row index right over here because the row is changing with every new response. Alright, so now after entering this range, I'm just going to enter the value which I want to add in this range, which is the web view link which we received from the Google Drive. Over here, I'm simply going to map this and click on this save and send test request. And yes, with this, we have successfully received a positive response that we have added this web view link into our Google Sheets. And yes, you can see the web view link has been added right over here. And over here, you can see all the questions which my AI agent generated for this product. And yes, with this we have successfully completed this workflow. And now what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the product name, type and target concern, automatically, like I showed you in the starting of this video, the survey question document link would be added right over here. That too without any manual efforts. This workflow is going to run in backend. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. As soon as a new row is updated in my spreadsheet, automatically my AI agent is going to generate the survey questions according to the details, and then further create a blank document. We are going to add the questions into that blank document, make that document a shareable one, and update that document link into our Google Sheets. All of this will happen in backend. We can just sit back and relax, and this automation is going to work by itself. So yes, now go and try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect. And if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. See you in the next video with many more automation tips. Thank you for watching, everyone.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.